Hey everybody. I've been staring at the camera for probably 10 minutes figuring out how to start this video, and I guess I will just jump right into it. Um, I turned 20 in, losing track of time, in almost a little over 3 months. Um, and I always, always have been told that I'm a storyteller. And I just have a lot of things that I've realized over the past year or so, really longer than a year, I should say 5 years. Um, and instead of writing, I tried writing. I did. I tried writing, and I was never bad in my English classes or whatever, but I just thought that content creation, which is something that I've always wanted to do, would be the better route for telling my stories and hopefully figuring some stuff out about myself along the way while, you know, helping other people if that's even like a possibility. Um, so I wanted like the first video, I guess, to just be like a pretty much like a background video. So like I said, I'm about to turn 20. Originally from Chicago. I'm living in Miami right now for an internship, and work has been great. Living in Miami by myself, not knowing anybody, has been awful, and I'm sure I will make a video on that. Um, but I guess like one way to describe me, and I guess one way that other people would describe me, is that I like to help others before I help myself, and that's really something I've been trying to grow with and turn it into a strength instead of a weakness, because I do see it as a weakness. I can give people advice. I can sit down with people, dedicate 5 hours of my time to listen to somebody's horrible things that has happened to them, or good things. And for some reason, like, I just can't do that with myself. I can't sit down and have a discussion with myself about where I am in my life. So I'm hoping talking to a camera lens could, I don't know, maybe do something about that. I'm not expecting anybody to see this, but it's more for me, and if it becomes for others, that's amazing. Um, but yeah, so I'm kind of at the point in my life right now where I feel like I have everything. You know, like I'm going to a great school. I have good parents. I have a good home life. I'm working in Miami. I have an apartment and a car that I can afford to sustain while I live down here. I have a good group of friends back at school. Um, you know, I'm on full scholarship. Like, money has always been a problem for my family, but it is not becoming more of a problem because of school, so it's been pretty easy to enjoy it so far. Um, and I have really, really built on my emotional intelligence in the past couple of years. And something that I'm really, really, really trying to figure out about myself is my purpose in life really just to help others, you know? Because I do find some gratitude in fulfilling another person's want for advice, or they just need to hear something at the right time. And I think that's great, you know? And I think that to have somebody like that in your circle is great, but I've never really felt like I had somebody else that would do that for me. And part of that is because I've historically not really um, centered myself around the right people, but also when I'm with the right people, I get kind of reluctant to ask for that same help that people ask me for. And somebody can throw some crazy story or situation that I've like never been in, never ever been in. And for some reason, like, I can just rationalize it and have them hear most of the time what they want to hear, but sometimes what they don't want to hear, depending on the situation. But again, like, I've never seen that as a weakness until recently. Until I've had a lot of stuff to deal with on my own. And I can't talk to myself in the mirror. I can't, lucid dream and have a conversation with myself. I wish I could, but I can't. So I've had these past 2 months in Miami, and I leave in a couple of weeks. Have had these couple of months to really think about when I go back to school, like, what my image I am going to really plaster all on the walls is going to be, and what I want to change going into this new year. I know turning 20 isn't like, oh my gosh, you're at the end of your lifespan, but it is a big milestone, and I feel like in these 20 years, like, I have gone through so much and heard so many stories and helped so many people, and it's just made me feel like I'm a lot older than I am. And does that scare me? A little bit. But in high school, I always looked forward to moving on to college, and didn't really get to enjoy those years as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school, when you're first getting your driver's license and going to your first party and stuff like that. And the reason I did want to start this journey and start this channel is because I have so much to say. I just previously have not known how to convey it, and writing was starting to be good, but I just not disciplined enough to write that much. But yeah, I mean, Miami work has been great. I wanted to choose the approach of not being lonely, but being alone. So those are two very different things, at least to me. You can be alone, you can be by yourself in your room, but you're not lonely because you can call somebody up. You have somebody that you can hang out with, or somebody that will be there when you need them. Just having those people subconsciously, whether they're close to you or not. However, with how much time I have to think and how much time I have once I get out of the office and once I go for my run or once I go to the gym, you just overthink and overthink and overthink and overthink, and it really tears down those walls of what you thought you could remain for the time that you're here, if I'm saying that correctly. But you just overthink, and those walls of I'm not lonely, they start to crumble, and you feel like people aren't reaching out enough. You don't know anybody. Nobody here wants to be your friend, because, to be completely honest, like, everybody in the city doesn't really want to be friends, and that's been hard, And I don't want pity. Like, I'm not going to sit here and cry, which I'm sure eventually in some video I will. And that's just being raw and honest, And I wish I did cry more, but that's part of my brain that, like, just doesn't get triggered for some reason when I get upset. But I just really want to be able to share my story, and I'm hoping that, whether or not I have people to ride along with me on this journey, that I can at least figure out something about myself. I said that a couple times already in this video. But I have a lot more to come, and I'm really excited for either one person or 10 people or maybe even 100 people to hear my story and to at least take something from it, or me being able to verbalize my growth and who I am as a person and figure that out. That's really all part of this journey. I don't always want to just sit here and sulk in maybe some upsetting stories. Like, I do want to also go out and be able to share the cool and fun things that I do in my life, because I do believe that there is some aspect of fun in my life. Not in the past 2 months necessarily, because it's all been work and loneliness, but yeah. That's all I've got, and I am really excited to start this journey. So if you want to join along with me on this and you want to gain something. I don't know if you will, and I'm not going to guarantee that. I'm not selling a course, but I'm really excited to be able to finally share who I am and not have to be worried about if somebody is judging me right in front of me. So, thank you.